The 2024 Major League Baseball All-Star Game last night in Arlington, Texas, at Globe Life Field, the home of the Texas Rangers. The American League has been dominant in the Midsummer Classic the last decade plus. They had won 9 straight entering last year's All-Star Game in Seattle. The National League victorious by a single run, 3-2, but the AL back on top here in 2024. 5-3 victory for the American League. 6 of the 8 total runs scored in the third. A 3-run shot first from the NL off the bat of Shohei Ohtani. A mammoth home run of 400 feet. The American League responds in the bottom half of that frame. 2 RBI double from Juan Soto. RBI single, a base knock out of Cleveland's catcher. That's David Fry in the game-winning 2-run home run from Jarren Duran, the youngster for the Boston Red Sox. It gives the AL the lead 5-3 in the 5th, and that is all they needed. Duran takes home the All-Star Game MVP hardware as the AL wins once again as a slight -118 moneyline favorite, 5-3.
Yeah, once again, the American League won. Let's take a look at the night as it went forward, because I'm one of those, I like big events, Ben, overall. And the All-Star Game technically is still a big event. Same thing in the NBA. I don't really dig into so much, let's just say. Obviously, I couldn't stand the Pro Bowl. In the NHL, I don't watch all that much from the All-Star Game perspective on, introductions. But I always like to tune in. It's fun to see all the superstars together in one place there. You know, they get the American League, the National League, they go over the reserves, then the starting lineup, which I think is pretty good. A much better rendition than yesterday of the Star-Spangled Banner to get everything underway for the All-Star Game. But as we watch it go through, I look at the opposite things that some people, hey, give me the game itself. You know what I didn't like so much? The uniforms, particularly the American League, I thought was terrible. But the color combination for the National League, Ben, absolutely sensational. And shout out, because typically this gets ruined. You know, on a year-to-year basis, the draft hats are coming out for the NFL. And once out of every 10 years, you get a good draft hat. I thought the hats were sensational this year for the All-Star break. Number one, the individual teams that they wore for their warm-ups and home run derby, they were awesome. The National League and the American League hats yesterday, I thought they were fantastic. So a good start there stylistically. The only thing disappointing, obviously, was the American League's uniform. Now, to the game itself, 5-3 final, goes over the 7.5. Finally, we got some runs. But also, did you notice during this game, which I do like in an all-star setting, they mic some of the players up, and I thought it was really neat. They mic'd the 3 Philadelphia Phillies up on that line, on the infield. Ketel Marte was the only one with the Diamondbacks there. Wasn't keyed up, but again, that was okay. Did you see when they actually had the all-star pitcher? I think it was Tarek Skubal, was mic'd up, and they were asking him questions in his windup, and he wasn't answering back. Yeah. I'm you guys thought he would answer that? Hey, how do you feel out there, when he's trying to get the signal? I thought that was interesting, where the actual pitcher was mic'd up maybe a little bit too much. But the game itself, I did enjoy. I finally got to see some home runs and some runs scored. The only thing that made me angry was, of course, it was going to be Juan Soto in a 2-2 count, working a walk to blow my +160 price on Paul Skenes to go 1-2-3 in the first inning. But I thought the All-Star game was enjoyable. And typically it is, because it's the closest form of the game you're going to get in the All-Star format.
Right. Paul Skenes was electric from the start, but his first pitch, only 98 miles per hour to be 101 or higher. That was +400. You would have thought he came out absolutely gassed up. Juan Soto, maybe so. Juan Soto, the most patient hitter maybe in all of baseball, does draw that opening inning walk. So the 3 up, 3 down, that was also plus money for Paul Skenes, but ever so slightly so. Not necessarily coming through last night. The other youngster for the American League, Mason Miller, for the Oakland Athletics, he got the win last night as he was in when Jarren Duran hit that home run in the bottom of the 5th. Hunter Green for the Reds suffers the loss, and Emmanuel Clase, the closer for the Cleveland Guardians, he records the save last night. But we did see some star power, right? Shohei Ohtani, a 3-run home run. Juan Soto contributing to the scoring in the home half of the third with that 2 RBI double as well. And Donnie, for your American League team, if you are a Boston backer and Red Sox faithful, you've seen Jarren Duran perform in big spots this year for the Sox. He earns the All-Star Game MVP hardware because of the game-winning 2-run home run in the home half of the 5th. A plus 4,000 price, 40-1 to win the All-Star Game MVP award before the Midsummer Classic got underway. He goes home with that and a nice payday.
Yeah, well-deserved, too, because that's when you take a look at the big performances of the night. In a tie game, you break that tie, and it was the winning run scored. Of course, you're going to get that MVP. But also, Shohei Ohtani with a home run and not winning the MVP, that's like the one spot where it's like, hey, you know what? We'll roll reverse. We'll just give it because he had 3 RBI and Duran only had 2 RBI. But I thought it was the right decision to make at that point. And also, shout out to Mason Miller, the pitcher for the Oakland Athletics. I don't know how baseball gets away with this. Where it's like, the Phillies had 7 or 8 guys go, but each and every team treats their players and their all-stars accordingly. Like, hey, you know what? After this game, we got a private jet waiting to take you to the All-Star game. And I guess the Oakland Athletics bought Mason Miller once again, which they do every year, a coach ticket to get down there from Philadelphia. And the Phillies like, no, brother. Get on this private jet with us, which is interesting because he might be up at the trade deadline. You got 8 guys on one side, him on the other side. Hey, man, why don't you come to Philadelphia? We'll treat you in a little bit of respect. But the Oakland Athletics getting away with just sending their player like coach and or commercial always makes me laugh. I mean, that's ridiculous.
The rookie all-star, that's Mason Miller for the A's. The rookie all-star starter for the National League, that was Paul Skenes. Thankfully, Donnie, I'm a little bit grateful, although it ruined your bet that Juan Soto did draw that walk so we could see Skenes versus Judge because he only went that first full inning. Corbin Burns, of course, getting the start for the American League. 16 pitches for Skenes. No strikeouts for a guy that had 11 in his most recent start. It was a special Skenes day. Technically, Skenes Day number 12 in the history of Major League Baseball. The first of what could be many appearances in an all-star game for Skenes.
And by the way, I had no idea Skenes went to the Air Force Academy, man. What a story. Like, I didn't know the background. I just thought he was always one of those big corn-fed dudes going down to LSU and dominating for years. Dude steps in and goes to LSU 1 year as the number 1 overall pick. That is a phenomenal story. This dude would be a jet fighter right now. Instead, he's blowing smoke up there at the plate 100-plus miles an hour. That's a pretty good backstory on Skenes.
Yeah, Paul Skenes started his collegiate baseball career, as Donnie is referencing, at the Air Force Academy. Wanted to be involved in the Air Force. Was also an incredible hitter at the dish as well, but realized how electric his right arm was. Makes the difficult decision to go to LSU. Wins a natty with the Bayou Bengals. Becomes the number 1 overall pick in 2023. And starts the All-Star game for the National League in his very first season. More reactions from last night's Midsummer Classic. The American League victorious once again. 5-3 victory for the AL. Jarren Duran, the youngster for the Boston Red Sox, 2-run home run. That was the game winner in the home half of the 5th. 5-3 the victory for the AL. They have won 10 of the last 11 All-Star games for just the 5th time in the last 18 Midsummer Classics. We go over a total. Last night it was 7.5. For just the 4th time in the last 11 years, we see 8 or more runs in the All-Star game. Bucking a couple of trends, if you will, but the AL's dominance continues at the Midsummer Classic. DRS, we have showed the stats. We have highlighted the performers last night, what they did at the dish and on the bump. And, of course, the All-Star game MVP, Jarren Duran of the Boston Red Sox. Any other takeaways, any other reactions that you have following last night in Arlington?
Yeah, let me ask you this question, because, again, I'm not up when these games finish at this point. And I understand, I saw, like, the highlight of, obviously, Duran being the MVP. You get that cool, like, glass bat, which I think is a pretty interesting trophy that they give out. But back in the day, like, when the players, look, they were still making a lot of money in the late 80s and early 90s. But they would, like, the All-Star Game MVP would, like, win a new car. Is there anything else they win besides, like, the bat? Like, did they get $1 million? Did, like, a Corvette pop out on the field? Because that used to always be the cool thing. Like, hey, I won the award. Then they drive it like a brand new truck. And you get to go sit and be like, hey, man, this is great at this point. Do we have any of that last night? Like, I don't know what – there's a glass bat they're showing right there on the screen, which I love. I think that's a cool award. But I wonder if he got, like, a car along with it or, I don't know, at least a trip to Disneyland or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you still win a Chevrolet vehicle, and you can choose which one. I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we'll have our producer, Joe Frizo.
Corvette is Chevy, right? So would you just go the Corvette route, like at that point, you know?
I don't know. Would you go a truck? If you're more of a truck guy? I'm not a truck guy, but I wonder if that's what you decide to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see Jarren Duran getting into a truck, though, by any means.
Yeah. Just get to pick it out
First
online.
All-Star game appearance, though.
Point. That's pretty impressive. Yeah. How do you top that? Hey, by the way, what'd you do? I only made one All-Star game in my career. Well, were you a bench warmer? Yeah, I was, but I came in and jacked the 2-run bomb to give us the win, took home the award. Like, that's pretty neat, man. You're going to, like, same thing with, like, Teoscar Hernandez winning the home run derby. That's something cool you can always tell the people down the line. Getting that big, like, invite to the All-Star game is one thing, but performing on the biggest stage when you're not supposed to. And also, hey, by the way, I was MVP in a game where Shohei Ohtani hit a 3-run home run. Yeah. How about that? That's pretty cool, too.
It was also a very cool moment. You could tell from Jarren Duran's post-game interview after winning the MVP hardware that it really did mean something of significance to him. There might be players, in regardless of sport, that say, awesome, man, I appreciate the hardware. What a fun time we had. But you could tell it was meaningful. Jarren Duran back on Sunday Night Baseball, July 7th, when they were taking on the Yankees, he was mic'd up. He was having a conversation throughout the broadcast. And he mentioned after being named an all-star player for the American League, he called his father. He said they both immediately broke down crying in tears because of the magnitude of that moment and what it meant to be an all-star in Major League Baseball. The 27-year-old for the Sox, his first All-Star Game appearance and an All-Star Game MVP award, deservingly so. The game-winning 2-run home run, 413 feet last night in Arlington to give the American League its 10th victory in the last 11 years. Donnie, we have all questioned, I think, in the last few years around whatever sport it has been, despite changes to format and things that have been made, if All-Star games still have the juice. I still enjoy the Major League Baseball All-Star game more than most because it feels the closest thing we'll get to an actual game, and they add some elements like talking to Tarek Skubal, who might win the American League Cy Young Award as he is literally throwing a pitch, or what he is seeing when Adley Rutschman is giving him signs behind the dish. I do enjoy that. From what you saw last night, do you still agree with the idea, like in our Fade the Public poll yesterday, the All-Star game still has its significance?
It does. So, it's two different things. Is it watchable or is it significance? I don't think it has much significance anymore because it's just an exhibition. When, again, the exhibition used to be like, let's go to different cities every year because these players and teams don't play in these stadiums and these fans don't see these players. That's out the door. But I think the significance of the All-Star game is you can still tune in and be like, oh, yeah, this is baseball. Like, they're not just messing around. Like, you know, like, let's just say if you take it for a NHL All-Star game or an NBA All-Star game. Hey, you know what? I'm going to walk Ellie De La Cruz on purpose so we can watch him steal in the next play and see if my catcher can throw him out. That's what All-Star games are typically about, but not the Major League Baseball All-Star game. At least it's the best semblance of an overall game that you can get, and the superstars do perform. They take it seriously in Major League Baseball, so there's still something to be said about the Major League Baseball game continuing, even though the relevance not really there anymore.
Our producer, Joe Frizo, in a Lone Star State feeling, shared that Jarren Duran got some cowboy boots and a huge belt buckle last night.